This is an update follow-up video on an unboxing I did on this Emerson portable air conditioning unit from about 3 years ago. And I still have it, still blows cold air. And one of the cool things about this is you can use it on a super portable system. Not for a really long time, but it does work. So let's connect this up and do another quick demo 3 years after its purchase. The new models that are out now have a little different configuration in the enclosure in the case. I don't know this for a fact, but I would assume that the innards are pretty much the same. The form factor is the same. They changed a few of the design features to the front. So if somebody knows different, let me know, but I believe it's pretty much the same unit. Let's get this connected and do some demos here. As far as getting it connected, it could not be any simpler. And again, there's a full unboxing video on my channel. This just plugs into the back. And for the back of the unit, we've got our heat vent and our condensation tube. The connection for power supply is just that 4-pin connector there. And for this right here, for the heat removal, this just screws in or screws out, depending on what you need to do. And then this can stretch and bend, so you can put it anywhere that you need. We've got filters on both sides. And the unit is really light. I've not turned this on today. It's a little bit warm in my shop here, so nothing has been engaged yet, so the system is not cool on its own. It's just at room temperature. We plug this in. Let's turn on our supply there. Got about a 94% charge on our Jackery. And let's turn on this guy. Turn on there. We've got our cold engaged. Let's open up our windows here. Take a first temperature here. And that is just the ambient right now. There are a couple different cold settings you can set that to, and it's got a light feature here which is very bright. And there's 2 levels for that. There is a Bluetooth connection for this unit, which is for some pretty weak speakers, and the phone's now, the sound coming out of your phone is superior to these units here. So we're pulling about 100 watts and thereabouts. This is a 240, so we could run a couple hours, 2.5 hours, depending on the state of charge and the demand that it pulls. So start to feel that cooling down just a little bit, just in the first minute or two. So around 65, 66, and just a minute or so ago it was 73 or thereabouts. You can feel the cooler air coming out. Starting to feel a little bit cooler. Ideally, to have a baffle or something that would really separate the back from the front would help cool down a small tent if you're trying to cover some room space. .64, 62, we'll just let this run for a couple minutes and I'll turn the video back on and we'll go from there. At about the 5-minute mark, I set my marker when I turned it on, so we're about 5 minutes in. We're in the 50s, so we'll give this another 5 and see where we are. Looking from the back, this is a true compressor AC unit. This is not a swamp cooler. This is not an ice bucket with a fan, and you can feel the heat coming out the back here, and that just shows how warm the air coming out is in the back. True to form for a compressor unit. So after about 10 minutes or so, we're down in the low 50s. The unit also works as just a fan. If it's not too hot out, you just lateral over to the fan setting here, and you can see that the wattage drain is considerably less because we're down in the 20s now versus around 100, 110, 115 when the compressor is doing its thing. You can also tell with the fan on, but of course our temperature is going to start going back up. So we're getting back up closer to ambient room temperature. A pretty cool, literally portable AC unit for small tents, small boats, sitting at a picnic table and wanting a cool breeze on your face, or if you're at the beach and you want to stay just a little bit cooler right where you're sitting, it does work fine. Obviously this Jackery is not the best match for this because we're pulling about 120 watts at the moment. So it'll tug pretty hard on this. That Jackery is also far from new, so its strength and battery capacity has been a little bit reduced just in time and just by use. And obviously if you've got AC nearby, you can just plug that into any wall outlet if you're camping in a site that's got electricity. But it's a cool unit. Again, this is just a quick update. For the full unboxing, the full details, the full specs, the full breakdown, all that is on my channel, and that goes into about 20 minutes of detail should someone really want to follow all the specs on it. Fun stuff, especially with this heat wave that we're all working through right now. Thanks very much for taking a look.